Welcome in this session about positive intelligence. I'm Eddie Smits, and let me share my screen so that we can begin. So what's up in this session? So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Then I'm going to talk about positive intelligence, what it is, how does it improve your peak performance, your peace of mind, and how can it help you have healthy relationships. So who am I? I'm Eddie Smits. I'm a TEDx speaker. I am an author. I'm a licensed NLP practitioner, and I'm also a certified management drives trainer. I have a degree in pedagogy. I was a professional artist for 22 years, which I was also hospital clown, and now I am a mental fitness coach. Now, during my time as a hospital clown, I visited more than 10,000 sick and palliative children. And that was, in fact, the start of my own personal development journey. I wrote a book which is called Model C in the year 2012. And the book is about which attitude that you have or that you need in your real life and in your business to achieve your goals and or your dreams. Now, the challenge I had was how could I bring this knowledge that I had required in hospitals, the life lessons and all this, how could I get that into a sustainable system, and how could I make a coaching system of it? And I've been searching for almost 10 years for that, and via a LinkedIn contact, I found something that is called positive intelligence. Now, what is it? Well, positive intelligence is your capacity to respond on the life challenges with positive rather than a negative mindset. Why do we call it mental fitness? Well, because there's some practice and some muscles to be built, but positive intelligence will have an impact on your peak performance, your peace of mind, or your wellness, and it will cause healthy relationships that can be private or business-wise. Now, it's all based on research, so it's evidence-based. The founder was, or is, because he's still alive, Shirzad Chamine, and he took a lot of science-based things from neuroscience, from positive psychology, and also cognitive behavior, and put that all together, and all these science evidence-based things together, that in fact is positive intelligence. In the research that Shirzad did, so he coached hundreds of CEOs and their executive teams. There were a lot of Stanford students involved, world-class athletes, more than 500,000 participants from 50 different countries. His research is all summarized in his book, which is translated in the meantime into 20 languages. These are some of the results that have been measured. So the team performance improves by 31%. Salespeople sell 37% more. People live 10 years longer. And people tend to be 3 times more creative. And the top result is that there is a large improvement on happiness. So these are the results of getting involved in mental fitness. Now, for me, the most empowered thing and the most powerful thing is that it's based on factor analysis. Now, I'm not a scientist, probably you are not a scientist too, but what is it? Factor analysis is based on a root cause of the core of the matter. So we go to the core of the matter, and it results in radically simplification of things. So all these science things that are so difficult, they have reduced them to something really simple and comprehensive. It's a little bit like when you paint, you only need three basic colors, right? You only need red, blue, and yellow. And with these colors, you can make all the colors you want. So that's also the case with positive intelligence, is when you have the basics, then you can use them in every line you want. You only have to work with three core muscles, which are the root of mental fitness. First is called the saboteur interceptor. We'll talk about later what it is exactly. The second is a sage. Again, talk about what that is. And then we have the self-command muscle. Now, there are 10 saboteurs. Our biggest saboteur is our judge. And there is self-judge. That means that we judge ourselves. Oh, I'm not good enough in this, and I don't work hard enough, and all these kind of things. There is the judgment to others. That can be, oh, he's not good enough, or they are not working enough, or they are so lucky that they have this or that. You know, always has to do with other people. And the third one, sometimes we blame things on circumstances. That can be big circumstances like COVID, could be little circumstances like our car broke down, etc. So these are the three things that we judge people or things about. Then there are 9 other saboteurs, which are the controller, the hyperachiever, the restless, the stickler, the pleaser, the hypervigilant, the avoider, the victim, the hyper-rational. These are the 9 other saboteurs. Now, we can test these saboteurs, and you can find this test on positiveintelligence.com, and you'll see that you have some top saboteurs, right? And these are the saboteurs, of course, which need to be addressed. Now, each of these saboteurs are well explained when you get your report of your saboteurs, just like the stickler is here. Now, the saboteurs, they live in the brainstem or in our limbic system or in the parts of the left brain. Now, the sage, I'm coming back on the sage later, that goes on in the middle prefrontal cortex, in our empathy circuitry, so in the parts of our right brain. The saboteurs, they motivate you through negative emotions, and you could have guessed it, the sage parts motivate you through positive emotions. Negative emotions are fear, stress, anger, guilt, shame, insecurity. And then the positive emotions are empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose. Now, in the beginning, some of these saboteurs might generate success, but certainly not happiness. For example, if you are a hyperachiever, right? It will motivate you, it will activate you. That's for sure, but it will never give you happiness. And in terms, when you keep on being in this saboteur mode, it will, like the hyperachiever, for example, you will certainly get to a burnout or something like that. So you will definitely end up in a negative spiral. Now, when you are in sage, then you generate your highest success and sustained happiness. The question I get a lot is, are negative emotions good for you? Because you just told me the hyperachiever, the controller, I need this for my success. Well, then I ask you, is pain good for you? Well, you know, pain just warns you. If you hold your hand on a hot plate, then pain is a warning sign that you have to remove your hand. And it's the same with negative emotions. They can be very helpful, but if you stay in the negative emotion, then that's another case, of course. So we have to move as quickly as possible, just as on the hot stove. We have to move as quickly as possible from our negative emotions to our positive emotions. Now, how do we do that? We go to our sage mode. Now, what is the sage mode? It lives in the brain associated with positive emotion, peace and calm, clear-headed focus, creativity, and it sees the big picture. And to get into this sage mode, the sage mode has 5 powers. First one is a very important and a very strong power, is the sympathize power. Second one is the explore power. The third one is the innovate power. We have the navigate part and the activate part. So these are all tools, emotions, feelings to get into this sage mode. Because the sage perspective is every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift and opportunity. Now, let me tell you a story. So there's a farmer who lives in China and who has a really nice stallion, a really healthy, powerful stallion. And people in the village are even proud that he has this stallion, and they talk about the stallion about other people, and the news travels fast. And one day, his stallion disappears. They steal the stallion. And his neighbors then come by and they say, "Oh my God, we're so sorry, your stallion, somebody stole it. Oh, you must be so sad." And the farmer says, "Well, who knows what is good and what is bad?" And the villagers are a little bit confused, and then they say, "Oh, probably it's because he is grieving and he doesn't know what to say." And well, they leave it at it. A few weeks later, the stallion is escaped from the thieves, where the thieves hold him. And during his trip back to the farmer, a few mares follow him and come back with the stallion to the farmer. And again, the neighbors visit him and say, "Whoa, this is great. Wow, your stallion was stolen. Now he's back. You must be so happy. Congratulations. We are glad for you. We are happy for you." But again, the farmer says, "Well, who knows what is good and what is bad?" And again, the people are a little bit confused, but it's okay. They leave it to that. And at some point, his son wants to ride in one of the mares, and he falls off the mare and breaks his arm. And again, the neighbors and the people of the village come to him and say, "Oh, we're so sorry. Oh my God, your only son, broke his arm. He can't help you on the farm. We're so sorry." But again, this farmer remains calm. He says, "He knows what is good and what is bad." And this time, the people pay less attention to his words. They go home and everything stays like it is. But a few weeks later, war breaks out. And soldiers come to the village and they take every young boy, to go and fight to the war. And because the son of the farmer has an arm broken, they don't take him. And now the villagers don't come to him anymore, because now they understand what the farmer meant. See, I like this story because that's also what the sage perspective does. Whatever happens in your life, you don't know if it's going to be good or wrong. Only the future will tell. So whatever happens, we can always see the positive in it. We can, whatever, how bad it may seem, we can always see it or accept it as a gift. And that's exactly what the sage perspective is. And that's exactly why when we are in sage, everything goes smooth and with ease. Nice story, right? Now, the question is, which perspective is true? In a saboteur perspective, this is bad. But in the sage perspective, again, then we will say it's a gift. Now, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because whichever you believe in comes true. If you say it's bad, well, you get to be right. But if you say it's good, you also get to be right. So how do we go from these saboteur thoughts to the sage perspective? We do it with something that is called PQ reps. Let's do this for 10 seconds, because you only need 10 seconds to get your brain from the saboteurs to the sage perspective. So what I want you to do is just take 2 fingertips, rub them against each other, feel the ridges. Now take all your fingertips and move them over the palm of your hands and feel these sensations. You can really feel it. Now, just notice your breath. Notice how your lungs, your chest, or your stomach goes in and out. And these are 10 seconds of PQ reps. Now, what does it do? Now, because we command our mind to something, what goes on into our body, we automatically go from the saboteurs to the sage perspective. That's all it is. But of course, it's a muscle that we have to train, that we have to make stronger to stay in this sage and to make sure that we keep ourselves in ease and flow. Now, once we have that, then you can call it an operating system. You literally have installed a new operating system. And how does it work? Well, if you feel a negative emotion, you need to stop, but because then you are in saboteur mode. The thing you do then is you just do some PQ reps, and you can do that everywhere. You've seen that now. And you can quiet your saboteurs, and you will activate your sage. Now, you have to assume the sage perspective converts every problem into a gift and opportunity. And by generating this gift, by using these sage powers like empathy, curiosity, creativity, calm, and clear-headed action, so the faster we can go from the saboteur's perspective to the sage mode, the more we will increase our happiness, and the more our life will go with ease and flow. Now, the question is it really possible to just shift from saboteur to sage response, even in tough challenges? Yes, but it all depends on the depth and the speed of this muscle strength. So the more you practice this muscle, the stronger it will get. That's why we call it mental fitness, right? The problem with a lasting positive change lies in the following. Most people, they have some kind of insights, or they read a book, or they see a YouTube video, or they follow a course, or they go to an incentive, and they literally say, maybe you've done it before, wow, now I see it. That's why it doesn't work. That's it. But inside is like a hot bath. And you're in this hot bath and you feel so good. But if you don't pour hot water once in a while, your water will be cold after a while. And that's what happens with insights. Your motivation will drop after a while, and you won't do the things that are necessary anymore. Now, how can you be sure that you stay in ease and flow? Is by building this mental muscle, because that's 80% of the work. And as soon as you build that mental muscle, the insight will last, and whatever you do with it will last throughout your whole life. So now you're going to ask me, how do I do that? How do I create this muscle? Well, it's fairly easy. It only takes you 15 minutes a day during 6 to 8 weeks. That's all it takes. And that's how you install this operation system, by doing this work every day for 15 minutes during 6 weeks. Practically, how do we realize this positive intelligence program? Well, it's a 6 weeks duration. And during this 6 weeks, you watch a 1 hour video each week. You have 50 minutes a day where you practice on your app. You need to read the first chapters of the Positive Intelligence book, and you get this app, which is your personal mental fitness coach. If you want to know more about positive intelligence and what it can mean for your life, just get in touch with me. You can visit my website, eddiesmits.com, check my social media, and book a call. Thanks for watching. See you soon.